Good afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. Hopefully today's show will go better than yesterday's. I couldn't believe how negative I was in yesterday's show. I do apologize. I'll try to do better today. I don't know. I just fell down some negative rabbit hole. Just shows you how important the people in the chat are. Because I didn't have anyone in the chat yesterday, and I thought it was a dismal show, the worst I'd done. Today's got to be better, right? Today is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2025. The government's still open as far as I know. I think it's absurd the way they keep threatening to close down the government on us. It's all ridiculous. Americans shouldn't have to live under threats. Okay. And that's really what it boils down to. So, Afternoon Chat is a free show. No commercials, no mid-roll ads, no sponsors. It's 100% free. Even to like and subscribe is free. I created this channel, Ghost Mostly Media LLC, to fulfill a void in my life. I want to meet people and talk to people from around the world like I used to do while I was in the casino industry in Las Vegas. I've looked through the analytics and the channel's progressing. We just need more people to find us. That's all. It'll happen eventually. YouTube's algorithm is analyzing the show, and they're going to put us in front of the people we need to be in front of. It'll happen. Hopefully sooner, but I'm patient. It'll all come together. I did have a slight technical difficulty, and that was in yesterday's show, which is why it ended 10 minutes early. I got a signal on my computer that said that the processor was being delayed somehow. And after all the troubleshooting and everything, bottom line is let's try it again. Let's see if there are continuing problems. I believe that it's all going to run, but the proof is in the pudding, as they say. So we'll see how it turns out. But Afternoon Chat is from 3 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. And it's the star of the show, I guess, is the people in the chat. They're going to control the conversation. They're going to determine what we talk about. I don't really care. We can talk about anything you want. It looks like I've solved the lighting issues. I'm pretty happy with with that. But as far as the topics go, it's up to you guys. Just stay within the community guidelines that YouTube has established so we don't get into trouble with YouTube, and we'll be golden. It'll all work out. I think that the chat should be the star and I should be a ghost. I'll fade into the background, okay? I'm not trying to get famous. I'm not trying to get my 15 minutes of fame or any of that. I could care less about that. I'm trying to get people into the chat room. So if you're watching on your TV and you want to see the chat stream, you need to activate the chat. And while you're there, please hit the like and subscribe. It'll help with the algorithm. But regardless, in order to chat, what you're going to need to do is go to YouTube and download their Discord app. That will enable you to use your phone or tablet or computer to type into the chat box, and it will appear on the screen beside me here. Well, on this side, I guess. Should be right in this area. I'll do my best to read all the chats and aid in the discussion, but I don't want to control the room or rule with an iron hand or micromanage, however you want to put it. I don't care what we talk about. There's no set subject. If there was a set subject today, it would probably be the price I just paid for my dang groceries. I went to my family breakfast this morning, and afterwards I went to the grocery store and got my supplies for the week. And prices are going up. I don't care what any of these other people tell you. Inflation is real. It's there. Prices going up. I'm spending more. I'm buying the same things I normally buy, and I'm spending more money. It's that simple. I don't know if it's tariffs, if it's inflation, if it's corporate greed. I don't know. And at this point, I don't care. All I know is it's getting pricey. Okay. It shouldn't be. Everybody's still going to work every day. Corporate profits, we paid for them last year, right? Should be priced the same this year, but it's not. They're creeping it up. My grocery store did a tricky one on me. I went up to buy eggs. There was no price. You have no idea what you're buying or how much you're spending. I'd have to go through the receipt to find out how much I ended up paying for them. It's ridiculous. Put the price on there so I know what I'm buying, right? I don't know. I guess they think they're tricking you in some way, you know. I could look it up. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. Is I'll pull out the receipt and show it to you. Okay. Facts and figures don't lie. People do. Okay. Personal opinion. That's all. That's the only thing I can give you is my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinions. Feel free to jump in the chat and control the whole conversation. Okay. You're more than welcome to. That's why this show is designed the way it's designed. The chat's going to run the whole show. I'm just a little bit of eye candy, I guess. One of my family members at breakfast this morning said, all the live chat shows have real pretty girls on them. I'm not a real pretty girl. I'm not even an ugly girl. I'm the only thing we got to look at. I guess I could put an AI character in here, but I prefer not to. Some type of AI avatar. I don't know. Would people go into a chat room that was hosted by an AI character? I don't think so. I think people want to talk to real people. I think if there's a bot in here, it'd be my job as the moderator to kick the bot out. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't have a sound bar with a cough button or any of that stuff. No, I don't need a sound bar. I can make all the sounds that we need for this show. It's ridiculous, but you know, I get on most of the shows that I watch on YouTube. The people have, if they're chat enabled, they have some type of sound bar, and it just seems added expense. All of that stuff that they do, their freestanding microphones and all that garbage. It just, I don't know, just another way to piss away money. I'm shooting this off of my Chromebook laptop. Okay. It's all Google. This YouTube, the Chromebook, it's all Google. Okay. It's designed to work together, and ta-da, it does. So why would I need to go buy another microphone or another camera? I don't think it's necessary. If the chat demands that someday I go out and spend $1,000 on a microphone, I didn't think my voice was that good. I don't think a microphone's going to help my voice. Okay. It's a little bit deep, but it's functional. The camera, I mean, I guess I could close the laptop and adjust the picture that way if you want. But, it is what it is. It's working. So if it ain't broke, why should I fix it? I have been working on the lighting, and it looks like I'm doing a much better job. It really does. This side of my face was darker. Go look at some of the earlier episodes and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's almost even now. It's real close. I can't help it. I'm trying to balance it out, Hopefully, that's the least of our problems. I think I got 3 episodes that I did, 3 shows that I did where it looked like my hair was red. Okay. Because I had the lighting all screwed up. At least it doesn't look like I have red hair now. No, it's brown. No gray. The gray is in the beard and the mustache. All right. That's where the gray is. That's just the I don't know, the proof of how old I am. So you don't have to wonder, is that guy 21? Yeah, slightly. Ghost mostly was a alias that I used when I used to write music lyrics for a band. And I liked the nickname. And I didn't want the band to put my name on anything or to owe me any type of residuals or anything like that. So when I came up with this project, I just rolled the same alias forward, and I put a Ghost Mostly Media LLC on it. Right. I'm not sure what all I'm going to do with the channel. I know that this particular show does not have a sponsor. This particular show does not have commercials. But at some point, I do need the media company to achieve monetization with YouTube so that I can get paid when I post videos and the like. We'll see how it goes. For right now, I'm content. Hopefully, we'll get the chat populating on a daily basis, and I'll be too busy to second guess what I'm doing. Well, that's my hope, I guess. My plan is to be busy. I don't know all of the answers, but I sure as heck can help with some of the questions because I got questions too. Well, it's one of the things I miss about an active chat room is it's educational. You learn things. My local news, I'm in Michigan. My local news here does not tell me what's going on in Iowa today, right? But if there were someone in the chat that was from Iowa, they could tell us what's going on in Iowa today, and we would know. We would be learning and gaining information. The only other avenue I would have to find out what's going on in, say, Iowa would be to go on the internet and look up a local TV station from Iowa and to watch their newscast. The corporate media don't think we need to know. Okay. They hide more information from us by not reporting it, just like they report disinformation or the information they give us is biased. I don't need to know your opinion if you're corporate media. Does me no good. It's a waste of time. Every time I turn on Fox, all I hear is their opinion. Well, it's butt cheeks. I don't care about their opinion. It has no value to me. Half of what they say on any of these channels is all bunk. It's all opinion. It's all garbage. They're not reporting the news. When I was a kid, we watched Walter Cronkite. Okay. He was presenting the news. And as I recall, he did it in an unbiased fashion. And that's not what we get nowadays. what we get is the corporations attempt to control and manipulate us. They're not just reporting facts. That's why Congress passes bills and we don't ever get to know what the heck is in them. Okay. We should know before the bill gets passed. The American people should know everything that's in it, in each and every bill. But they don't think our need to know level's that high. They don't value our opinion on what they're doing. It's a shame because they're really missing out. Well, I think that every one of us has a right to our opinion, and we need to voice that opinion. And that's why I've created an open forum chat room. You all have the right and the availability now to voice your opinion on any topic you'd like to talk about. I would love to have people in the chat room so that my opinion is never voiced, okay? Or rarely voiced. Hopefully we'll get some people with a sense of humor in here and we'll be entertained on a daily basis. Well, Monday through Friday. That's 10 hours a week that I'm inviting the world into my living room to have a conversation. And I really don't care what we talk about. As long as we're not upsetting YouTube, I'm cool. You know, I'll probably end up being a little protective of the people in the chat, getting to voice their opinion without getting doxxed, without getting harassed or threatened in any way. I'll probably be pretty protective of them. Well, we won't know until it happens, right? I mean, you know, we'll find out. When I decided to do this project, I gave myself 3 years. I'm telling myself that's the only fair shot I can give this to see if we can't build a community that wants to chat. So I'm figuring that I'm doing this 5 days a week, 2 hours a day for 3 years. I'm still undecided as to like on the holidays and stuff like that. Will I don't know. I'll probably leave that up to the chat room. If the people in the chat want to chat, well, you know, we'll probably have a show. If the people in the chat, you know, don't want it, we probably won't. I'm going to give the people in the chat a lot of control over this show. If we end up adjusting the hours or anything like that, I'll be able to blame it all on you guys. Oh, come on. Hey, I got to be able to blame somebody. I can't take the rap. I can take the rap for coming up with the initial 5 days a week and the 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. That was all my idea. Okay. Anything that it changes to or morphs to, I'm blaming that on the chat. The people in the chat are going to be at fault, right? I set it up so that it wouldn't interfere with my football. I love to watch NFL football, including them crummy games from last night. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, did you see the Tyreek Hill injury? Oh, my gosh. Ugh. Scary. And that's coming from a guy that walks with a cane. Okay. His injury was scary. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. I do not want any NFL players to ever get injured. That's just horrible. They're fine young athletes, and they're out there giving it their all every day. And I got nothing but respect and want nothing but good wishes for all of them, provided that when they're playing, the Lions, they lose. Okay. I'm not ashamed that I'm biased in favor of the Lions. That's okay with me. I'm not a team owner. I'm not a coach. Okay. So it's all right for me to have that opinion and to be just a fan, right? I'm not knocking you for any team that you're cheering for, unless they're playing my Lions. Yeah. The team that's in trouble this week is Cincinnati Bengals. If they didn't get enough hardship last night, they got a big dose coming next Sunday. Oh yeah, they're in a world of trouble. If they had any brains, they'd go sign I don't know, 53 new players and juice up that team, fill in the gaps, as it were, because they got some gaps. If Denver could run on them last night, Detroit's going to have a field day because they got the best two running backs in the league, you ask me. I'm thinking David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs could both get 200 yards against what the run defense that I saw last night from the Bengals. It was sad. And, every time I saw a Denver runner make a cut, I'm like, well, that would have been a touchdown if that was Gibbs, or that would have been a touchdown if that was Montgomery. So, yeah. Cincinnati's got some issues. I wish Joe Burrow was healthy and able to play. It would make for a better game. The opening line I saw was Detroit minus 10.5. And that could go as high as 14 by the time game time rolls around. Yeah. I don't know who'd want to bet on Cincinnati after watching that performance last night. You're going to want at least 14 points in order to put a wager on those guys. I'm expecting the final score to be like, 50-0. That's for next week. I'm predicting that the Lions put up a 50 burger. Yeah. Who's going to stop them? The Lions' offensive line is masterful. They will run the ball successfully. But this is not a football show. This is a chat show. Jump in the chat. Fire it up. Let's go. The worst can happen is we have a good time. Okay. No, I'm not going all down the rabbit hole I went down yesterday. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know why I was that negative. I'm going to put that behind me and press forward. Okay. Today has got to go better. It has to. California state law. I know I'm not in California, but you might be. I'm in Southwest Michigan, the center of the universe. All the cool guys are here. Well, at least I'm here. It's pretty easy to be out of control when I don't have people into the chat to straighten me out. Okay. So see, I can already blame the people in the chat. It's all their fault. If I go off and I'm all out of control, you people should have gotten a chat and told me shut up. You never know. I might shut up when I'm told to shut up. I might be a good boy. I wouldn't bet on it, but I might be. I could be. Let's say that, right? Yeah, with all you guys in the chat, I really don't have to wear my reading glasses here. Yeah, I'm a little tired today. Well, I stayed up watching football last night, and then it took me a while to wind down before I could get some sleep, And it looks like I'm having a bad hair day. I brushed it. I could brush it again, but, why would I? It's clean. Okay, it's clean hair. I just push it back and get it off of my face. I don't care where it goes, to be honest with you. If I'm outside in the wind, I wear a hat so that it doesn't blow up and I don't set myself on fire, I have bad habits. I smoke cigarettes and marijuana. I actually thought about smoking some marijuana before the show today so that I could make sure I didn't go down no rabbit holes. And I'm like, no, I'll wait till after the show. I've got a routine set up. When the show ends at 5, I'll smoke a bowl and I'll go for a walk because I've been sitting for 2 hours, right? Get some exercise, some fresh air, Then I'll come back and make my dinner. I'm having fried chicken tonight. I'm excited about it. Probably with, I don't know, maybe baked potato. We'll see. See what I feel like messing with. But then, during dinner, I like to sit down and rewatch the broadcast and see what all I screwed up. Make some notes, Try to use better language. Sit up straight. Try not to yawn. The basics. Well, you guys aren't in the chat to interact with me, to tell me, If somebody jumped in the chat and told me brush my hair, I'd do it just to keep them happy, right? But ain't happening, so I ain't brushing it. It's not that I'm lazy, it's that I don't care. I spent years in the casino industry having to wear a suit and tie, right? As you can tell by the V-neck t-shirts, I don't like the whole suit and tie. And I really don't care to shave either. It's too much work. I took a shower and I put beard softener on, Yeah, I've noticed I do that quite a bit during the live streams, as I like to play with it. I caught myself playing with the beard at breakfast this morning too. I was with the family. Those family breakfasts, they just warm my heart, put me in a good mood. I get to connect with everybody and find out what's going on. I saw videos of kids pushing each other around in little wagons and all kinds of crapola this morning, you know. I don't go over to their house because I'm a smoker. They're all non-smokers. My whole family's a bunch of goddamn quitters. Oh, there I go with the language again. I apologize. My whole family's a bunch of silly quitters. Is that better? Well, they all quit smoking. They're all healthy. I don't see why. No, these are the smoking's the only bad habit I really got left. Well, that and sitting around talking on my computer. It's got to be considered a bad habit until you guys get in here and I'm having conversations. Without you guys, it's just a guy sitting on his couch talking to his machinery. You know, that's really kind of pathetic when you stop and think about it. Oh, I think we'll get some people in here maybe next week, the week after. I glanced at those analytics and YouTube gave me like a little sticker and told me I was doing a great job. And they said something about they had showed my show to like 1,000 people or something thus far. Or maybe it was 1,000 people in the last 28 days, something like that. I don't really know. Huh. I got all these little do jobbies I can do in the chat here. I just had a heart one and then a smiley face, and then I did another heart. I'm not sure where they're going. I don't see them in the chat. Beats me. Well, when I don't know what the buttons do, I click them. Well, I figure that's the easiest way to find out what the button does, is just click on it. I got quite a few options here. It takes me a while to get into wanting to do the whole computer crap. It's easier just to not do it. Well, it's like that whole Patreon page thing. I filled it out one day when I was feeling, experimental. I did it, but I never activated the dang thing. So, I'll get feeling experimental and I'll get back in there maybe one of these days when I'm checking the channel analytics. I'll at some point I'll activate it. I created it so that if people were mean to me in the chat, I could tell them that they needed to support the channel so they could guarantee I'd be here next week for them to be mean to me again. I thought it'd be hilarious, but You guys don't have to support the channel. I'm not selling you anything. There's no pitch. Okay. I'm not coming out with a line of merch. Ain't happening. Not trying to sell you nothing, not trying to manipulate you or control you. I'm just trying to talk to you. Well, I like to talk to people. I like to find out what's going on, and I believe people more than I believe what I see on the internet or on the television. You know what I mean? Talk to real people and you find out what's really on their mind. You know, it helps me when I'm trying to like sort out my own priorities and my own feelings on things and issues, and you know, certain things can trigger me. Okay. Well, you know, it's what happened yesterday. Is I was a little bit triggered by that shooter we had up here. Yeah. I don't like it when people think it's okay to hurt others. It's not nice. I think we should all be nice all the time. I like laughter. I like it when everybody's having a good time and enjoying themselves, and you don't need to keep your guard up, and you can just relax, you know. And I'm running late. I'm still drinking Dr. Pepper. I haven't gotten all the way up to my uh, Gatorade yet. Soon. This is almost gone. It's on the downhill side. We'll see how the day goes. Maybe somebody will jump in the chat. We've got viewers. You know, the viewers are everything's. You know, they're showing me graphs, and everything is rising. It's on the up, right? Likes, subscribers, and the viewing hours. It's all climbing. I got a long way to go to get to the standards that they set, you know. But as long as it's progressing, I'm cool, you know. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, I need the media company to get um, monetized, but you know, that's for projects that are down the road. That's for projects I haven't even thought up yet. Okay. The only thing I've thought about doing so far is a couple of like instructional videos, that kind of stuff, you know. All I'm thinking more like maybe I should do like a morning chat, afternoon chat, and maybe an evening chat. I don't know. Well, I'm figuring for the media company, I'll get most of my ideas from the chat. Once people get in here, I'll ask them what do they want me to do. Well, I'm thinking, geez, I could produce and put on TV anything I want now. As long as I'm the one that's filming and producing, and it's original content, then I'm not going to have any copyright issues. I was thinking about putting on a play like 12 Angry Men or something like that. Go and find a dozen people and say, hey, here's your script. You know, you want to be in a play on TV? Well, you never know. People might like to see that. It doesn't have to be just 12 Angry Men. What if we wrote an original play? Like One Fool on His Couch. Whatever, you know what I mean? I've never had this kind of power, the ability to put anything on TV that I want. I I think that's pretty cool. It seems like something I need to be careful about. You know what I put on. Well, I don't want to get sued. We'll see. I'm figuring that the live chat will give me ideas and make suggestions and things that I never would have thought up on my own. You know. Well, I was thinking about. I was walking through the park after a podcast last week, and I saw a pickup basketball game going on, and I was like, I could just do a show on pickup games. Get one and have somebody in Philly record a game, have somebody in New York, have somebody in Florida. Everybody record, 15 minutes of their pickup game. And then I can put on a compilation of, say a 2-hour show of pickup basketball games from all over the continental United States. I don't see anyone else doing it. Have you ever watched a pickup game? There's shit goes down. And that's all I can tell you is things happen. All I was thinking, do I want to do whole court or half court? I think half court would be sufficient. There are more half court pickup games than there are full court, at least from my experience. If you want full court, generally you got to go to a gym, But then you got guys in there that are trying to, improve their skills and they're not just playing for the fun of it, Whereas a pickup game is just guys playing in a park. They'll play a little half court 3-on-3 or 4-on-4. I haven't seen a 5-on-5 in a while. Well, a half court isn't really conducive to a 5-on-5. There's too many guys. Everything gets condensed down into the paint, and then it is who's throwing elbows. Okay. But yeah, I had all kinds of ideas about what to do with the channel and the media company, and I'm not sure what I want to do. Right now, I'm just kind of playing it by ear, working on getting this one show, working on getting the media company monetized, Well, you got to start somewhere, I don't know how, at the current rate that I'm going, it's probably going to take me 2 years to get monetized. I don't know. Well, I don't know, where YouTube is advertising the show. They know all that stuff. They know what the heck they're doing, They'll figure it out. Eventually they'll figure out where our target market is for this show, and boom, that's where we're going to be, I'm not sweating it, as they say, It'll all come out in the long run. It'll all work. YouTube will find our place, and we'll build a community in here. And I want to build an inclusive community. I don't want to exclude anyone. I want all ages, all races, all faiths, all political parties. I want everybody to be able to join the chat room. We need opinions from every perspective we can get. That's gonna make our content better, right? In my opinion, I've never belonged to an exclusive club in my life. I don't want to. I'd rather have inclusive. The more people you collaborate with, the more successful you become. Plain and simple. It literally is just a game of numbers. It's like the casino industry that I worked 30 plus years in. It boiled down to butts in the chairs. If you got people sitting in all the chairs, casinos got to make money. Can't lose. It's designed to make money. The only way your casino can lose money is not have anybody sitting in those chairs when those chairs are empty. Right? This show's going to be successful when we have people in the chat. Until we get the chat populated and people talking, it's going to be slow, boring. Well, as boring as I am. Okay. You never know. Could be more days like yesterday where I just, fall down some rabbit hole and can't get out. I don't mind leading the conversation or helping the conversation, but I don't want to be the entire conversation. I would rather get people in the chat and find out, what's on their mind today. What are they worried about? What's their priorities? What are they, trying to figure out? I have some definite ideas, I think that this chat room could help to unite our country, because people aren't going to be able to convince me to be afraid to walk out my front door. People aren't going to be able to convince me to be afraid to have a conversation with somebody. It's not going to happen. It's one of the things that I get from my father is he watches his local news and he's convinced that there's a criminal on every corner. There's none. I can't convince him otherwise, because every time I tell him, the news comes on and he watches it and he'll call me up. See what, Dad? One guy had a mental breakdown. They didn't tell you about the 340 million of us that didn't have a mental breakdown today. Most people aren't hurting people. Most people are not sitting around planning out crimes. They're just not. I'm not. And I don't believe that you are either. Somebody somewhere is plotting a crime for tomorrow, I'm sure. But though the number of us that aren't outnumber those of us that are by an astronomical number. I mean, it's just ridiculous. There's so many good people. In Vegas, I met them. I was meeting over 100 people a week for 30 plus years from all across the globe. Every country you can name, I met somebody from that country and I found them to be a nice person. Every country. It's ridiculous. Our news media is trying to scare you. They're trying to manipulate you. They want you to think that it's doom and gloom, and you have to tune into their next broadcast to find out that you're okay for another day. You know, that's how they're making money. The corporations are paying for them. They're putting a commercial on saying, scare the people some more. It's ridiculous. There is crime. All around the world, there's crime. But all around the globe, the criminals are in the minority by a lot. The average guy is not sitting around conspiring. Okay. The average guy is too busy. He's going to work. He has bills to pay, kids to raise, responsibilities, right? Criminals don't have responsibilities. They have nothing to lose. That's why they're willing to become criminals, right? But most of us are not like that. Most of us never dream of hurting anybody. Yeah, you got some macaroons running around in the woods in their pajamas that dream of a big shootout someday. Yeah, that's a minority. There's very few of those little weak-minded people. Okay, that's not the bulk of this. The bulk of the population. We all have the same values. We all have the same morals. We all have the same ethics, right? I mean, it sounds very mundane, but it's not. It's actually pretty exciting. I mean, you can have a town with 50,000 people in it, a small town by most standards, right? There's no bad guy. The crime that goes on there is the rarity in that small town, right? Maybe a kid ran away, okay, or maybe somebody got caught fishing without a license. Ooh, you know. There are plenty of towns that size in America that have never had a bank robbery, that have never had a murder, that have never had, you know, any of that stuff. Most of their local news would be there was an accident outside the high school. Yeah, one of them young drivers pulled out into traffic without looking. Yeah, silliness, right? That's what their law enforcement in those small towns is running around doing. They might be writing a parking ticket, you know, but it's not, you know, John Wick. Okay. It's not, there's a hitman in every town. No, there's not a hitman in every town. Okay. There just isn't. If you do the math on it, look it up, do a Google search, and you'll see. Just type in what percentage of the U.S. population is criminal. It's never been more than 7% in the history of America. Never. Not a single day. if all the criminal element is within 7%, and of that 7%, 2 million of the guys are already behind bars, guess what? The police themselves outnumber the bad guys. All by themselves. Your town has probably got more police than you got criminals. Your police are responding to accidents. They're doing welfare checks. They're responding to, petty theft. Right? Petty theft isn't what they're putting on the news to scare us with. Right? If these corporations wanted to, they could find something else to put on the news and still be able to sell their advertising time and not have to scare anyone. They do this by choice. This is the easy way for them. Can you imagine how hard it would be to have to report all the good news that goes on in any one country on any one day? How many people have ever helped their neighbor? Most people. I live in an apartment complex. When I go for a walk, I see people, I talk to them. I never get mugged. Ever. I don't see crime. Look out your front door. How many criminals do you see? None? Hello? They're in the minority. There's so few of them, it's stupid. Doesn't mean that you can't go out in the public and run into a crime, because you can, right? But it's not what our corporate media would have you believe. They want to scare you. That way they can guarantee you're still scared tomorrow, and you will tune in tomorrow to find out more bad news. They're making money off of peddling bad news to you, bringing the bad news right to your doorstep when it's nowhere near your doorstep. And psychologically, it has a toll on our society. Psychologically, it is negative news, right? There was a lot of positive things that happened yesterday all around the planet. People were kind to one another. People were helping one another. That doesn't make the news. It's like when there's a food drive going on, and you get it up into your cupboard and you get a couple of canned goods and you donate them to the food drive. There's never a reporter there with a live camera holding a microphone in front of your face. How's it feel to help your neighbors? That interview's not taking place. That's not going to be in the 6 o'clock news, because they can't sell the advertising space. They can't sell the advertising space. They're not going to run the news story. The corporations are not going to let the news media that they own report any bad news about their corporation. So you're tainted right there from the word go. Most of America, and I'm I'm speaking from experience. Most of America, it's all good people. And they treat one another with respect, with kindness, and they lend a helping hand. Most of us are good neighbors. And the reason that most of us are good neighbors is because we want our neighbors to be good. I got it. I got there. Only an hour and 5 minutes into the show, and I finally caught up. I'm drinking my electrolytes. I'll have them in me before I go for my walk. It'll all be good. It'll all work out. Well, if you were to jump into the chat right now, I'd ask you, where are you from? What line of work are you in? What's on your mind today? What would you like to discuss? Yeah, I was also thinking about the media company and other avenues that I could do with that, other things. I was thinking I might be able to even write a sitcom. Shouldn't be hard. Well, I don't think writing jokes is real easy, but you know. People write them all the time when they're talking, when they're having a discussion. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I want to do. Not necessarily what'll make a ton of money, but what do I want to do? What do I want to put on the air? It's quite interesting. Never been in this position in my life, so, it's always been, scanning the bands to see what somebody else put on TV. Was there anything worth watching? Anything that had my interest? I was thinking I could do a time lapse compilation. Well, time lapse on any part of nature. Nature's never a rerun, right? We just had Crumbelina, my friend. She just had, just outside of her front door, she had a bird's nest sitting there. And robin, the state bird here in Michigan, has four babies in the nest that had hatched. And they stayed there until they learned to fly, and they left the nest. So then Crumbelina goes out and buys some contraption, puts that nest and puts it on her picture window so she can see inside. And I was thinking, I could put a time lapse camera in there and photograph them over, their whole span of being hatched from eggs or laid as eggs, and then, to the point where they leave the nest. I thought that might be interesting. Yeah. Do a few of those. Put them all together, make a 30-minute show out of it. throw it on the air. I don't know. I'm just spitballing, you know. I suppose I could, film live events that aren't getting the press. High school football games jump to mind, you know. Friday night, you know. I don't know. Do high schools still play on Friday night? They used to. Yeah, I don't know. I think people would like to see a number of things. But until I get to the point where I'm monetized, I have no rush to produce anything else or anything, you know. But once I get monetized, then, I'll be like, well, why aren't I posting other things? Why am I not making money? You know, I don't need to make money off of this show, but I do need the media company to make money at some point. Well, there's licensing fees in all that. You know what I mean? The only overhead I have on this show is the $13.99 a month that I pay YouTube. That gives me the 2 channels, which seems like a pretty great deal to me. But, at some point, the media company is going to have to turn a profit. Okay. Not this show. On this show, I'm never going to sell you anything. I have no desire to. This show is so I can meet people and talk to people from around the globe. I don't care if this show never makes a dime. It's fine with me. Hopefully, it won't take too awful long to get monetized. I suppose it's just going to be a matter of time before the viewership builds up enough on that graph to get me there, They were showing me numbers like they showed this show to 1,000 people, and I got half a dozen subscribers. So maybe if they show the show to 1 million people, I'll get to 60 subscribers. I don't know. There's going to be a percentage there. Well, it's just like bulk advertisement mailer, right? You're going to get you send out like a coupon or something to a particular zip code, and your response number should be somewhere between 1% and 2%, right? It's got to be the same way. If they show me to X amount of people, a certain percentage of them are going to like and subscribe, and a certain percentage of them are not going to like and subscribe. There's probably a whole rabbit hole of numbers that you can dig into on those algorithms or on the analytics from YouTube. I'll get there eventually. I'm not going to worry about it now, as I haven't been in front of enough people, I have no idea. I mean, right now they could be advertising this show in the recommended category in Guam or Puerto Rico. I have no idea. They're showing it to somebody. I know they are, because they're giving me numbers. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I have to do the like and subscriber thing, and I got to get the viewing hours in order to get my media company monetized. That's the only reason I'm pressing on it. Is I don't know, what could I possibly get from people hitting the like button? Well, what I'm told by YouTube is that it helps with the algorithm. So I need the likes. I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't know why I need them, but I'll mention them to people. Okay. I mean, what else am I going to do? Hopefully, a month from now, I'll never have to mention like and subscribe again. Well, no, I'll put those things in, the for-profit projects that I get into with the media company, not in this show, And I miss talking to people. I'm not as active as I was when I was young, and I'm not out in front of the public like I was when I was young. I've had a very unique life. Okay. And I probably shouldn't tell you guys about most of it. Okay. I probably shouldn't. Well, like, I spent, in my youth, I spent a number of years hitchhiking around the country. That's very unique. Very few of us were doing it. And then I was in the casino business for 33 plus years. Not many of us were doing that either. Okay. I used to hold life and health insurance license at one point in my life. At another point in my life, I held a property and casualty insurance license. At one point in my life, I was licensed to sell cars. Okay. At one point in my life, I was a drill press operator. At another point in my life, I was a chef. I've had a very unique life. And now I'm a chat room host. Ta-da. I don't know where it's going to end. I don't know what, all I know is I'm still moving forward. Have been my whole life. It's interesting to me. I compare my life to my father's, for instance, right? He's 87 now. And he worked in factories, held 4 journeyman's cards. He was a big deal in the union. He had a totally different life than I did, right? He knows a lot about metal. I tried the factory work for a couple of years. I tried factory work. It wasn't for me. I've never been good with tools. My father, great with tools. Okay. My brother, great with tools. You know, that's not my deal. You know, never has been and never will be. When something breaks, I'm an apartment dweller. I call maintenance. They fix everything for me. I don't own any tools. Okay. I was trying to determine the other day, do I have a hammer? I don't think I do. If I do, I've got it packed away and buried somewhere and I can't find it. So, you know, I got a little bitty toolbox that's got a pair of pliers and a Phillips head and a regular screwdriver. I think that's about all that's in there. There might be a tape measure, but that's about it. No drills, no saws, no grinders, no micrometers or calipers or Allen wrenches. I got no need for those. If I go to work on something, I would normally break it worse or break something else. It's like years ago, I had when I was a homeowner, you know, 2 or 3 marriages ago, you know, back in the day, I had a water pipe burst, and I needed to sweat the copper pipes in order to repair the leak. I tried to do it. And that's when I used the torch and set my insulation on fire. Okay. I'm not that handy a guy. I can write a check with the best of them. Okay. But I can't do the repairs myself. It's not my cup of tea. No, I can call a nephew. I'm nephew rich. I can call a nephew and they can fix stuff. Right. But it's yeah. It's not in my wheelhouse. Right. That would probably be a good comedy to put on TV. Me trying to do like automotive repair. That might turn out to be hilarious, right? Or well, any kind of a project like that, like try to build something, that would be fun. I'd probably get hurt. Okay. Okay. Let's keep it real. I'd probably injure myself in some way. Drop a couple of fingers where they don't need to be or something, you know. Now, who knows what I'll end up filming and putting online for people to have access to. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this channel. I know what I'm going to do with this show. Okay. I know that, I'm going to sit here for 3 years, 5 days a week. Well, I say 5 days a week, but I'm concerned about Thanksgiving when the Lions are playing Green Bay for our grudge match of the season. To me, the priority is not going to be this show. The priority is going to be to watch the football game. So it's Thanksgiving Day. What time is the football game on? I care about that more than I care about dinner. Okay. Which seems almost sacrilegious. I like turkey. Okay. I like the meal on Thanksgiving too. Yeah. We'll see. See how it goes. I'll look at the football schedule and I'll talk to any people in the chat, and we'll make a determination going forward from that point. But my priority is going to be to watch the Lions whoop on Green Bay Packers. Well, they beat us in week 1. As far as I'm concerned, that means they got a 50 burger coming on Thanksgiving Day. We owe them that much. It's Michigan law, isn't it? Well, they're in division. They're in our division opponent, so we got to face them twice. Once at their home, week 1, where we lost, and then the second time at Ford Field. And because they beat us the first time, I want to have the Lions put a serious whooping on them the second time. Teach them a lesson. This week, they're playing Cincinnati Bengals, and Cincinnati Bengals need to get a lot more help. They need like a whole new repair job on their team. Their offense, they've got people injured. Defense, people injured. Originally, when the schedule first came out, I looked at this game and I'm saying, oh, this will be great. This will, Joe Burrow and Jared, and now Joe Burrow's out for, 3 months or something. Something with his toe. A turf toe, I think it was. And I'm looking forward to every one of the Lions games, and I watched some of the other football games too. But I don't follow any other team as close as I follow the Lions. But that's just me. I grew up watching the Lions. Back in the day when we had Billy Sims and Barry Sanders and Megatron and, excuse me. Hopefully, the Lions will finish the season 16 wins and 1 loss. Hopefully. I try to, stay with a positive attitude and try to think things are going to always work out for the best. Well, technically they could go 15-2, and still win the Super Bowl or 14-3 and still win the Super Bowl, but I want them to go the rest of the season undefeated. No more losses. Just keep piling them wins up. Hopefully. So feel free to jump in the chat. We can talk about something other than football. Yeah, I see the Tigers are struggling. It does, when I watch them play, it doesn't look like they're having any fun at all. And the winning teams are all having fun. I mean, it's just a cursory glance. But I think maybe the pressure's getting to the Tigers a little bit. And they're having pitching woes, pitching struggles. I saw some guy pitching. I've been watching him most of the year, and I saw some guy pitching the other day I never even seen before. Never heard of him, or I'm like, who the heck is this guy? Where'd he come from? You know? I don't follow the Tigers as closely as I do the Lions. Not even nowhere near. The Lions, I follow close enough that I can probably design plays for them. Okay. Based on their personnel. I did have one little notice come up on the computer saying that the processor had slowed, but it didn't knock us off. So I still think we're golden. I don't think we're going to have any issues. I was thinking that, my processor should hold up better. I don't know if that has to do with, the live streaming or what. I don't have anything else running on the computer. I know that. If I were running other programs at the same time, I could see maybe the computer having some issues. But when it's only doing the one thing, the live stream, it shouldn't be an issue. Hopefully, somebody will get in and chat. Yeah, I'm actually pretty satisfied with the lighting. I see improvement. There's a shadow right here, but it's not really much of one. It's small. Yeah, I really wintertime. I wear a higher neck, but it's 80-degree weather here. We haven't even had fall yet. The leaves are just now starting to turn and starting to drop from the trees. A couple of my neighbors have been saying that they're expecting a rough winter, but I'm not. Well, since this global warming has been coming on, we've been getting mild winters, and they're really not that bad. It's no big deal for me. I'm not out shoveling the walk. Okay. Maintenance does that. I don't even put salt on the door. My neighbor does that. And I've been in this apartment 3 years now. I like it. And I like it because, when I go for a walk, I can go to the park. We're right next door. So it's nice. They planted new trees in the park yesterday. I saw them. Look good. Well, we had a tornado come through last year that wiped most of our trees out in this immediate area. We had in our complex, we had two big trees in our courtyard that both came down. I could get out all right, but a couple of my neighbors were blocked in by limbs, and maintenance had to go get a chainsaw and cut them out, cut them out of their apartment. Yeah, the tornadoes are probably the worst weather that we get up here in Michigan. The snow isn't too bad because we're used to it, and they've got pretty decent snow removal. I'd have to go all the way back to 78 for a blizzard that, immobilized the town for like 3 days or something like that. All those years that I was in Vegas, I probably saw snow, I don't know, 4 or 5 times out there. And it was mostly at the higher elevation and, it was gone the next day type of deal. But I think the show is going along fine. I don't see any more malfunctions happening. I had one brief little note for 1 minute. It might have buffered for a second or so, but out of a 2 hour live stream, that's, what's 2 seconds? As long as we're not having other issues, I'm good. I'm hoping that the computer can hold up for a few years. I'd just soon not have to replace it. Okay. Yeah, the chat's still working. It's there. I had to check. Okay. Well, I didn't see anything on the screen, so I typed in the good afternoon and popped it up there. That's where your chats go, is in that corner of the screen. I guess I could move over. But yeah, I think that the chat will get populated eventually. I knew that it'd take a while to build up an audience that wants to chat on a daily basis. It's probably going to take us a while. Well, I don't know, 3 to 5 p.m. I'm not sure, who was available to chat those hours, you know. What I saw for the competition on YouTube was like news oriented shows. And I don't want just to be a news oriented show. I mean, what if we want to talk about something that isn't news? Well, like kids, you know. I smoke too many cigarettes. I think about 3 an hour, generally speaking. Well, unless I'm busy doing something. I'd be busier if you guys were chatting. Then I could read. Yeah, I think that it's going to progress. It's just going to be a while until we get up enough people. We're getting the viewers. Viewers are coming in and staying and jumping in and out. And, you know, hopefully we'll get some likes and subscribes and the viewing hours will start going up exponentially as we get more people viewing. I gotta have 4,000 viewing hours and 1,000 subscribers in order to meet my monetization goals. But as far as this show, it's not going to be monetized. It's not going to, it's always going to be free. It's just a chat room. You know what I mean? Where the people in the chat are the actual stars, not me. So, I'm just looking forward to talking to people, visiting. It's interesting that no one gets into the chat even for a few minutes, but I don't know who YouTube has got us in front of, Maybe, well, I had a guy either last week or the week before. I had one guy from the UK and another guy from London, England. And they were both chatting. But it's been slim pickings ever since. You can read the chat on your TV. You just can't participate in the chat with your TV. Unless, you got, some newfangled smart TV with all the bells and whistles on it, you might be able to. I think that's what we'll get to eventually, is you'll be able to chat on your TV. Well, this interactive TV with the live chat, this is all brand new stuff. It's going to take the industry a while, but, they'll get it together and get us what we want. But for right now, you need to use your phone or tablet or laptop, some type of computer, and download the Discord app in order to be able to chat. Excuse me. The Discord app is free. The show is free. And eventually people will get in here and talk, and we'll have a decent show. For right now, all you got is me, and I'm not out cutting shorts. I'm not advertising on all these other platforms. I'm not chasing the whole social media train. I'm not going to do it. I don't like any of the other platforms. The only one I care to be on is just YouTube. And if that limits the number of people that are going to be in the chat, so be it. I got no issue with that. Hey, when we get 100 people in here, this chat's going to be jumping, There'll be plenty going on. And I'll have to moderate, so I'll be busy. But once we have people in the chat, then we can take polls. We can find out, get opinions, and actually have some numbers to support us, It's just going to take a little while. I'm not going to put polls up when there aren't any people in the chat. That would be ridiculous. Who's going to vote? I don't think you'll be able to vote on the polls on your TV. I think you'll have to use an external device. I don't chat on my phone. I chat on my laptop, on my computer. I like the larger screen. It's just personal preference. Hopefully, it won't take too much longer to get people in. They'll come in slow at first. But eventually, we'll be getting bots in here and all that garbage, I'm sure. Well, I can't see why they would omit, spamming our chat. They do it in everybody else's. I saw that both on Tom and Pernia's feeds last night. They had spammers in there. I watch about a half a dozen shows that interact with live chat, but I rarely chat on them. Occasionally TMZ or Mike Kimber. When I watch his show, Lions Talk by Chad Sports or something. I will interact with Mike occasionally, but I feel Mike and I have a lot of things in common. We have a lot of common ground. He's in Southwest Michigan. He's a Lions fan just like I am. If the Lions game is going on, you'll hear Mike getting emotional during his broadcast, and And I'm sitting in my living room doing the exact same. I'm making the same shouts that he's making, which yesterday was stop throwing to JMO, right? 5 incompletions in a row. That's enough. Don't give him any more targets. You guys aren't on the same page. Move on. You got other weapons, use the other weapons, the ones that are working. And I'm not trying to slight JMO in any way, shape, or form. I think the guy's the number 1 wide receiver. But yesterday, he and Goff were not on the same page, plain and simple. And I think Jared Goff is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He reads defenses and he audibles and puts the offense in the right play for the defense that they're up against. Very smart man. When I watch him, he reminds me of Joe Montana and Peyton Manning when they were in their prime. Just fun to watch. Even if the Lions ain't your team, Jared Goff's fun to watch. He'll put strings together. He'll have 10, 15 completions in a row. He'll put together a 10-minute scoring drive. It's awesome to behold something like that. It's the time of the day where I like to wind down the show and explain my live and let live policy. I think we need to live and let our neighbors live. Cut them some slack, okay? Be nice to everybody all of the time, and I believe that niceness will come back and fill your life with niceness and joy, all the good things. You got to put out positive energy in order to get positive energy back. I don't see the haters in this world accomplishing a dang thing. Nothing. As far as I'm concerned, all that anger and all that hate is just a waste of time. Be nice to everybody and allow them to be unique. Allow them to be individuals. Be patient with people. Be understanding. Be compassionate. Right? These type of things create relationships that have value, right? How do you value your life? If you're running around hating on people and being negative, I don't see as how you can value your life. I don't think how you can think that your life is superior in any way, shape, or form. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and straighten me out. No, I think that hate is not the answer. I think in order to get to hate, I think it's a mathematical equation, if you will. It's good old-fashioned dislike or disagreement added to uncontrolled fear equals hate. Fear, some fear, a little bit of fear is good for you. That'll keep you alive. No, you don't need to walk down that dark alley at 3 o'clock in the morning. A little bit of fear would serve you well right then and there. Don't do it. But you cannot have uncontrolled fear where you're too afraid to walk out of your house. You've got to control your fears in order to get value from your life. I don't care what you're afraid of. You need to control your fears. Don't let your fears control you. When your fears control you, you lose quality of life. You lose your value. When you control your fears, your life is always going to maintain its value. Living in fear is not living. If your fear has too big a hold on you, you're just going to curl up in the corner in the fetal position and stay there. Where's your quality of life then? If you're afraid of people, you need to meet more people. There's a couple of ways to get past those fears. Work with somebody. Share a meal with somebody. Right? You work an 8-hour shift with some guy, you're not going to fear him. You might befriend him, okay? But you're not going to fear him. You sit down, you have lunch with somebody, you're not going to fear him. You might befriend him. It's a heck of a risk on your part, okay? But you're not going to hate him. We're too similar. We just don't realize how similar we are. Every Republican that tells me they hate all liberals, it's a fool. He's got uncontrolled fear. That's the only way you can hate, is with uncontrolled fear. You can't get to hate without uncontrolled fear. It's impossible, in my opinion. Okay? That's my disclaimer. It's my opinion. If you'd like to change my opinion, I welcome you to jump in the chat and change it for me. We can talk about it anytime you like. I'm right here, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show's called Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly, and I got time and a desire to meet and talk to you. So if you've ever wanted to have a conversation with your TV, I'm giving you a golden opportunity, and it's free. No charge. I'm not selling you a darn thing, okay? I'm not coming out with a line of merch, okay? There's not any mid-roll ads. There's no sponsors. I'm not trying to control or manipulate you or the conversation. I am trying to make friends, okay? With that being said, we'll close it out here today. I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. And hey, bring a friend. Tune in and let's have a conversation. Until then, be nice to everybody. You'll like the end result. I'll see you tomorrow.